Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Bugs Books, where we talk about Christian fiction. It's a lot of fun. Thank you for joining me. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about books with flowers on the cover or floral covers, because the first full week of May is National Wildflower Week. I personally love wildflowers. They're like some of my favorite flowers, and every year when wildflower season starts, I get so excited driving down the road to see the Indian paintbrushes and the bluebonnets, and I just think they're gorgeous. I love wildflowers, so it's always one of my favorite times of year, and I'm excited to do this video because we're going to be talking about books with covers that have either flowers on them or an overall floral theme to them. So let's go ahead and get started. The first book on my list that I have is actually a book that I'm currently reading. I have it checked out from the library, and that is The Elusive Truth of Lily Temple by Joanna Davidson Politano. And this one's fun. It has a floral border around the silhouette of the girl, which, first of all, this cover in general I think is gorgeous. It catches my eye every time. I love the silhouette and how it's kind of like darkened, like you can't really see it, so it adds that air of mystery that kind of goes along with the title and the book. But talking specifically about the florals, it has the floral border, which actually goes along with the book because she does live in the garden, in a garden. I'm not very far along, I'm only about 12 chapters in, but you'll notice that in the border it also has some like symbols with the flowers, like here's a jewel and a bird cage, a cameo, and a film. And so I know that the film and the jewel definitely go with the storyline, so I'm guessing like all of them do. I'm not far enough in to know what the bird cage, how it plays in yet, but I'm looking forward to finding out. But yeah, so this is a really fun cover because it's got like the rose vines with the thorns and the flowers, but it's also got some other fun little details involved. So that's the first one on our list. Next we have Between the Sound and the Sea by Amanda Cox. And I will tell you, I absolutely adore this cover. Where did it go? I downloaded like pictures of all the books that I didn't have in print, but apparently I didn't download this one, so I can't look at it right now. But it's a really gorgeous cover. Like, it's blue and it has the flowers on the outside, and I think it has like dolphins on it too. But anyway, every time I pass this book on Instagram, which is quite a lot lately because it's coming out like this month, or maybe it just came out, or it's coming out in a couple weeks, I'm not sure exactly, but it's been on my Instagram feed a lot because it's a new release, and every time it comes up I literally stop and stare at it because I think it's so gorgeous. Like, it's so simple and yet it has such beautiful details, and so yeah, I really, really like it. I've never read an Amanda Cox book, but I know that she had a book a couple years ago that's like something about an old grocery store something. I forget the title of it, but I think it won like the Christie Award for Book of the Year, or maybe best like debut author. I think it was Book of the Year though. So I mean, that's a pretty good like promotion in her favor, despite having never read her. And she's got to be pretty good if she wins like a Christie Award for Book of the Year. So, but I love this cover. Every time I see it, I stop and stare for a minute because I just think it's so gorgeous. Okay, so next I have two Lori Wick ones, Lori Wick books. They're both from the same series. They're from the Rocky Mountain Memory series, and one is To Know Her by Name, which you'll see is right here. I have it in print. This one's a lot of fun because unlike the first two, this is like an actual photo of flowers, and you have them here in the field, and they're just like really pretty. I love how they're like really clustered close to the book, and then they kind of fan out as you get closer to the cabin here. I love how the flowers kind of match the coloring in the sky. I just think it's a really pretty way to handle this book, to handle the cover, and so I like it a lot. And then you have her other book in the Rocky Mountain Memory series, which is Where the Wild Rose Blooms, and this one also has a kind of photo-esque quality, but it definitely has like one main flower in the center and then some more spread out, and this one really is like wildflowers. Like the other ones seem more like well, I guess To Know Her by Name could also be wildflowers too, but the first two, you know, they're more like the roses and the illustrated flowers. But I mean, this one very clearly is like a field of wildflowers. You can tell that they're varied and they're spread out. And yeah, and I love that you've got the red and the yellow together, especially because the yellow like ties into the mountains in the background. I think that's really pretty. So yeah, I like that one a lot. Okay, next we have The Seamstress of Acadie by Laura France. And this one, it's like the first two in the fact that it's illustrated, but it's not like a border. You've got like big flowers, and these are really large illustrated flowers, and they're definitely like a main focal point. I mean, the flowers are almost bigger than the girl, honestly. So I feel like they're more in the forefront of the cover than even she is. And yet at the same time, they're kind of accentuating her, being in the two corners. They're accentuating her as well. And I just think they're really pretty. I don't know what kind of flowers these are. They look familiar. I feel like I should know them, but yeah, I just think they're really pretty, and I think that they add a lot of depth, and when I say depth, I mean you can definitely tell that they're closer to you than she is, and so it's giving like literal depth to the cover, but it's also giving like depth as in like interesting factors to the cover, like not just the girl but the flowers also. So it's both kind of depths there, if that makes sense. Okay, next we have The Nature of a Lady by Rosanna M. White, which I have here. I absolutely love this cover. This is one of my favorite covers ever. I love the purple themes you've got going on. I love that not only is she in garden, and again, this is a book where a garden is prominent in this setting. She is like a aspiring botanist. She really likes botany, and she goes to study the flowers at the tourist garden on the island where she's staying a lot. So it's a big prominent part of the plot, so it's also featured here on the cover. And I love that you have like the bushes and the garden in the background, but you have the jasmine in her hair, which is very pretty, but you also have this beautiful arch. I love how all the colors work together. You've got these like blues and purples that really blend together nicely, and I just love this arch. I think this arch stands out in such a beautiful way. I love the floral aspects of it. I mean, even here on her dress has floral aspects as well. Like, I just noticed that looking, like, you can see it. She's got, like, a floral lace pattern on her skirt and on her top. I don't know. I can't see where my finger's pointing. It might not be pointing the right area, but you see it. Yeah, so I think this is a gorgeous cover, especially when we're talking about flowers. Okay, next we have Yours is the Night by Amanda Dykes, which is a fun one because it's got the poppies, and this is a World War I novel, and poppies throughout history have been kind of a symbol of World War I, especially the Western Front in France, which, I mean, I guess, I assume it's because poppies grow in France, but I don't know for sure. But throughout history, like, poppies have been a symbol of the Western Front, of the French front during World War I. And I think that it's because, like, I think it's because poppies grew on the battlefields afterwards, like, years later after, you know, the bodies had decomposed and stuff. I think poppies grew there. So I'm assuming that's why poppies are the symbol. But poppies are a symbol of World War I, and you can definitely see them on the cover of Yours is the Night. I especially love this one that's like right there in the forefront. It's like there very clearly for you to see this is a poppy, and then you have more in the background that are kind of blurred and unfocused. I like how it's done. I really do. It's simple, and so there's really only one flower in focus, and yet you know you're looking at a field of them, you know? I think it's done well. I like it. Okay, then we have Heirlooms by Sandra Bird. This is one that I haven't read yet, but it is on my TBR. It's not like quick on my TBR though. Like, I feel like it's going to be a long while before I ever get to it, but I do want to read it eventually. But this one, I mean, it's pretty straightforward as far as floral goes because it literally has a bouquet of flowers that is being tied together by some hands. And I think this pink one on the side is amaranth, if I'm not mistaken, which I'm pretty sure it is because amaranth is like for me as a writer, it's an Easter egg. Fun fact, I put amaranth somewhere in all of my works, so that's fun. And I'm pretty sure that's amaranth on the side there. Could be wrong though, because I think it is. Which would make sense because amaranth often symbols like immortality and continuity, mainly immortality. So like this is a family drama, I think, so it could be symbolizing like the fact that no matter what drama happens, you know, the love of the family goes on forever or something like that. Could be. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a bouquet of flowers, but I think they're really pretty. I like the colors. They definitely have like a color scheme. I mean, there's a little bit of blue next to the amaranth there, but mostly we're dealing with like a pink color scheme, which is fun. I like that it's a little like, it's not full on center. It's kind of off to the side. So it's got like a 2/3 look to it. And then there's 1/3 of more open space. So I think that makes it really nice. It kind of, yeah, I don't know. I like the way they laid it out for sure. All right. And then our last one is When Stone Wings Fly by Karen Barnett. And I had actually never heard of this book until I was doing research for this video, mainly just looking up Christian fiction books with flowers on the cover. And I came across this book, and then when I read the description of it, I was like, oh, I want to read that. So it is on my TBR now, and hopefully I will get to it soon because it looks really interesting. But yeah, this one is another illustrated one, kind of like the Seamstress of Katie. You've got these flowers that are, you know, colored. It's not like an actual picture, but it's not like quite as animated as our first two covers. It's just like, it's literally the drawing of the flowers, and you've definitely got them on two sides, so two borders. And then I like how it's got like the bird in the middle. I think having that bird kind of 1/3 of the way down the book with the wood coming across it, it makes like a really interesting layout there. Like, I like the way it's composed. I do. I think this is a really pretty cover. I like that you've got kind of like the blue smoky mountains in the background, which represents the fact that this book takes place in the Smoky Mountains. And then you've got the bird, which is again kind of gray and black and white. And then the main color comes in with the flowers. It does have that circle, the series circle, which is green as well, but the green goes with the leaves and the title letters, but mostly your color is coming from the floral border, which I think is really pretty. So yeah, there are definitely a lot more books out there that have flowers on the cover or floral themed covers, and I even had a lot more on my list, but I wanted to narrow it down to some that I really liked and that I felt really well represented this topic in this video. So that's what I did, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like talking about covers and things that are on covers, let me know in the comments what your favorite floral covers are. Thank you for joining me.